Archaeological digs on the Ophel have occurred on and off since the middle of the 19th century. But only in recent years have royal structures been uncovered in Jerusalem that closely correlate to the biblical descriptions of King Solomon's massive building projects in the books of Kings and Chronicles. In the most recent phase of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem Ophel excavations, during the summer of 2013, Dr. Eilat Mazar and her team set out to uncover more remains from the Solomonic period, and they did. But no one expected the most stunning discovery of all to come just 5 days into the dig, after excavators had barely broken through the surface of a new area.
I've never seen anything like this beautiful.
Pretty amazing.
Very exciting.
This is the third gold hoard to be found.
Happens only once in a lifetime.
This rare find was discovered just 50 meters south of the Temple Mount, inside a Byzantine structure that dates back to the 6th century of the Common Era. It's a magnificent collection of fine Byzantine jewelry, coins, and a large medallion with Jewish symbols. Most of it is made of pure gold. The collection had most likely been carefully packed and hidden by a prominent group of Jews during the Persian conquest of Jerusalem at the beginning of the 7th century CE. Just like the massive stones King Solomon used to build his royal complex, this newly discovered treasure of precious jewels and rare coins, after being buried in the earth for 14 centuries, revives a riveting and powerful testimony from a long-forgotten chapter in the 3,000-year-old history of Jewish Jerusalem.
So I took a small axe and I started digging there, and within a few minutes I found this, what I thought was a copper earring. 2 minutes later I found another one. Achainom was like, of course it's earring, it's gotta be earrings.
It's very shiny, but we said because it's shiny and clean, we think it's modern. But then we find a coin.
Really shiny, quarter-sized about.
And then we find more one, and more. And more and more.
So then Ariel, he took it, he showed Eilat.
And when we came here, we immediately noticed the tiled pavement that was appearing here and there in the area. We understood that we have a clear, clean Byzantine layer with what was obvious special finds.
They told me, don't dig here with any hard tools, just take a paintbrush and we got to find where it's coming from. We have to find the source of where the coins are coming from. Automatically I started seeing this trail of just these gold coins like flowing down from the wall. I was like in shock. I couldn't talk. I was like, I'm like, look, do you see these things? We came there with a metal detector and I told them, you got to put it in this one area. It's going to go nuts. I know there's something there. That's where the coins were. That's where the earrings were. You have to just put the metal detector there. And it just started going crazy. They told me immediately to switch to a smaller paintbrush. So I started dusting there. All of a sudden I started seeing what I thought was just another coin, but it was definitely bigger and started growing more and more. Like
you're going more and more and more, and we understand it's not a coin.
Achainom and I are just like wide-eyed. We're just like with our mouths wide open.
It's a very big.
And I was like telling them, you have to come see it. It's like huge, and they're like sitting there talking about all the other things and like yelling at them, come look at it, come look at it.
And then we see a menorah.
My eyes were like lit up. I'd never seen something like that in my life. Eilat comes over to me and she grabs me and she like kisses me on the head and she's like, in my entire life I've never seen anything like this beautiful.
Little by little we found out that actually it's a very large medallion.
And we continued to dig around the find because it was really inside the dirt, and we started to see The two symbols around the menorah is the shofar and the Torah scrolls.
After the finds had been carefully excavated and removed from the site, Dr. Mazar had the treasure analyzed by a team of scholars at the Institute of Archaeology on the campus of Hebrew University, located about 2 miles north of the Ophel, on top of Mount Scopus. Established in 1925, today Hebrew University is one of the largest and most important academic centers in Israel.
These gold objects, arrived immediately from the excavation of Eilat Mazar in the Ophel. Of course, the first things I did was to record it by filming it. I did some records, and of course, after it, I began to clean it very, very, very delicately. Immediately, I saw that the silver parts of bracelet, I saw that the corrosion products really immigrate into the necklace, and they just adhere and they penetrate into the structure of the necklace. So I had to separate it very, very delicately using different kind of scalpel blades. When I separated, and of course everything was done under the binocular, under the microscope, I saw that I have some remains of fabric on the top of the silver and in the corrosion of the silver. Later, we, both of us, and Eilat and me, decided to do some, preliminary analysis of the metal by portable XRF machine. It is only a very first step, but still there is a need for further analysis and work needed. The hoard was found in a Byzantine structure where it is just 50 meters south of the southern wall of the Temple Mount and the Triple Gate where the Jewish people in the Second Temple period went in. And here it was found just under a surface layer. The hoard was separated into two major packages. One that was a bit better hidden contained the medallion and the necklace, another small medallion, and this holder of what seems to be the Torah scroll. Some fabric that was found on this holder probably held them all together. The other purse of the items that were found all around, nearby but still scattered, contained the 36 coins, the earrings, heavy earrings, most probably a property of some wealthy woman, the silver ingot, and another hanger of such a bracelet that was broken, so that's why it was kept in the other purse. The other purse meant to be used as, money to buy, most probably a property in this time that Jewish people came to Jerusalem to buy structures, to build synagogues, and most probably even to build the temple itself.
The Ophel hoard contains 36 gold coins. The coins themselves are a unique find. This is only with all the archaeological work been done in Jerusalem in the last 100 years, this is only the third gold hoard to be found. The hoard was perhaps in the beginning significantly bigger because it is possible that coins were melted down for the production of the medallion. The finds can be divided into two main chronological groups. The first group contains 10 gold coins from the 4th century, from the day of Constantinus II to the day of Gratian. Then there is a gap of about 150-160 years till the coins of the 6th century. Coins of the 6th century are the main bulk of the hoard. 26 coins are from this century, and out of them, 14 are coins of Justin II. The latest coins in the hoard are two coins of Maorik that were issued between 582 till 601 CE. So we know that the hoard were hidden after the latest date on the coins. The coins give us the date of all the hoard. All of these conclusions leading us to suggest that the best possible date is between the Persian conquest and the recapture of Jerusalem by the Byzantine in 628-29 CE.
While the Byzantine coins reveal crucial details about the time period in which the treasure was hidden, what can we learn about the people who buried it? We know when they hid it, but why? For answers, we turn to the revealing symbols adorning the large gold medallion.
I found out that the menorah itself, the symbol of the menorah, the seven-branch candelabra, is very common in the Byzantine period. But this medallion has some unique feature, mainly the attributes that are going with the menorah. In both sides of that medallion, there were a shofar, a ram's horn. This is a common symbol, but in the other side there was some kind of a round symbol. It looks like a round object with a rod that protrudes from both sides. This symbol is the scroll of law. Most of the objects with the scroll of law on them were found outside of the area of Israel, mainly in Rome or other places abroad. So could be that this symbol was a symbol that they use mainly outside of the perimeter of the area of Israel. And the meaning of that could be that the medallion itself was made outside of Israel and was brought by some people that came during a period where it was allowed to Jews to return to Jerusalem. The closest parallel for the medallion from the Ophel excavations is a medallion that is found in the Jewish Museum in London. There is a menorah very, very similar to the menorah in the medallion from the Ophel. There is a shofar from one side and the scroll of law from the other side. Above it, there is a special feature, and that's an inscription engraved on it. The inscription is saying, "This is the donation of Jacob, Archaeology in Greek." The meaning of it is actually the head of the synagogue, or the head of the community. The last word is the pearl setter, the setter of pearls. So it was, from one side, the head of the Jewish community, and from the other side, it was also probably a very wealthy man, with a good position, and could afford himself to donate something so important from gold to the community. If we take this parallel and compare it to the medallion from the Ophel, we see that both medallions were meant to be hung on some object, and already the curator of the Jewish London Museum suggested that his medallion was meant to be put on a scroll of law. If you compare our medallion, probably it meant to be in the same place, on a scroll of law.
Today, a scroll of law, and sometimes several scrolls, can be found in every synagogue. All of them are housed inside Torah cases, some of which are most beautifully decorated, even adorned with precious medallions and meaningful symbols that were common millennia ago.
One should ask himself what this hoard is all about. We know that we're talking about the beginning of the 7th century. This is the time where the Persians conquered Jerusalem. And the Jewish people helped them a great deal conquer Israel and Jerusalem. And the Jewish people were promised by the Persians that when Jerusalem is captured, they are going to have the opportunity to build it as a Jewish city. And they had these fantastic hopes, first time after so long that they were forbidden from being in Jerusalem and not to mention settled in the city. But then again, they didn't realize that this is not going to last long because the Persians calculated their benefit. It was not beneficial to stay allies with the very few Jewish people, relatively few. And we see here a most tangible a situation where we can see that the history actually takes shape. And the Jewish people that came and were very near the temple itself, the temple site, they had to desert this horde, run for their life, leave the horde behind them, leave their hopes behind them, and maybe even not been able to rescue their lives because they never came back to rescue the horde. Nowadays, to reveal such a treasure makes one think and appreciate what we have in Jerusalem nowadays as the capital of the Jewish state.
The seven-lamp candlestick, known as the Menorah, has been an enduring symbol of Israel since the days of Moses. It was one of the most important vessels inside the temple at Jerusalem. The first-century historian Josephus tells us that during the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, the Roman victors captured the menorah and took it to Rome. This heart-rending scene is powerfully depicted in stone on the Arch of Titus in Rome. But though the temple was destroyed and its menorah removed, the deeply symbolic meaning of the seven-lamp candlestick has stood firm in the hearts and minds of Jews everywhere. Like the 15-foot bronze menorah sculpture that stands proudly in a small plaza across the street from Israel's Knesset in Jerusalem. It's for all good reasons that the official emblem of the State of Israel today is the seven-lamp menorah.